The record.
Oh,
Hey guys, welcome back. It is February the 5th. So here we are. We're fully on into February, second month of the year already. It's amazing, isn't it? How time just passes so quickly, it seems. I don't have a huge dissertation for you tonight. I thought last week's was pretty huge. If you haven't had a chance to review it, I would, in fact, rather this week have you guys share some ideas and thoughts from what we've been talking about. More specifically, though, what you're planning. I want to know what you guys are planning, because this is not a normal February. It's not an average February. It's not any February like previous. We have something going on that we're building towards, and it matters that we have all hands on deck. Sitting on your hands, being on this call as a spectator won't cut it. I won't accept that. So I hope you guys don't mind accountability, but that's what makes great people great, is that there's some level of accountability. And so let's have it. What are you guys up to? What are you doing to get yourselves moving in this momentous approach towards a launch?
Hi, Mike. It's Paul Gabbia.
Hi, Paul.
Hi. I just discovered that I could run the TV from my cell phone or my computer wirelessly. So anyway, we have one downstairs like that. I'm getting one for the conference room up here. And we're going to be inviting local people to the March 9th event. But I have to tell you, I posted that an interview with Bob Proctor. It deeply affected me. And after that interview, because I'm platinum, and I thought, diamond, well, it's kind of exciting, but all that would do, it would be less than the current salary that I'm making. What really does excite me is Royal Diamond, because I know the formula. I know how much the 6%, if you got that every month, be 6% of 300,000, that's 1,800,000. That's nice. That's exciting to me. But what Bob Proctor was saying was that you have to imagine yourself already having attained that goal in your mind. And so I'm doing that. The question I have is, sometimes I'm happy and grateful to achieve such and such a goal, and then we put a date. But of course, if I'm imagining in my mind that I'm already there, it's a bit contradictory to put a date. So can you clarify what I should be doing?
That's a great point. I mean, I'm myself of two opinions on that, but what Bob would teach us was the wording of it. So he would always say, now that I am. So that was part of it. I'm so happy, grateful, whatever the emotions that are associated with the feeling. So first of all, let's talk about this. I was fortunate to be invited to be a guest speaker on Sophia's team call or community call last week. So I had an opportunity to brush up on my have and have nots. I actually found the quote of Matthew where they talk about them that have, more will be given, and for those that have not, even that which they have will be taken away. We talked about that last week. That was the establishing the mindset of the person who has, as in has already achieved, versus the person who has not, or the have-nots who have not yet achieved. So it's a consciousness, it's a state of mind. So how do you get yourself in that state of mind? Well, the declaration is, I am so grateful, or whatever the feeling is, but start it with gratitude, because that's the only emotion that actually is in harmony with the frequency of attainment.
Yeah.
Is gratitude. That's how you would open a statement of claim, is I'm so grateful for now that I have. And so that would be how you would word it. And Bob used to add on or before the date.
Yeah.
Those would be the words, on or before whatever the day is. Now, So that's loosely, it's not exactly a date, but it's kind of a parenthesis. It's honor before that, so that it could happen before that. I'm so grateful now that I am honor before whatever. So you're projecting yourself onto that date or some date in that. So
Yeah, and
you're
the on it before can be now. You see, it can
yes,
be now. It's fair. It fits both ways.
yes. And so I'm saying I am that place being that place where I've arrived on or before that date.
Yeah. Yeah.
So I'm projecting myself into a future that is on or before this particular day for which I have received what it is that I'm seeking. So it does work. And it's important. Words are very powerful things. They give us, in the beginning was the word. Words are very, very powerful, and it's very important that we use them correctly. So, but I want to say, first of all, Paul, thank you for upping the ante for yourself, because honestly, it's like saying, I'm going to go to almost the top of Mount Everest. That's what I really want to do.
Yeah. Yeah.
And so I don't think too many people would plan that excursion if they were going to go almost to the top of Mount Everest or halfway up the mountain. So when you plan to go big or go home, I think is the way to go. Barbara.
The honor before really works, because my first hip replacement was not supposed to take place until the early fall. And I had a sign up in my apartment, which I focused on every day. In fact, I had it posted in several places, that my hip was going to be replaced on or before June the 1st, 2023, so I could attend my grandson's 18th birthday and high school graduation on July 1st without the aid of any mobility tools. And I had my surgery on May 30th. So it worked. Now I'm manifesting the next one, which isn't supposed to be until October, on or before April 1st.
Okay, good.
It
So
works.
a couple things then. So one is set a goal. Oh, well, okay. So we talked about goal setting, right? That was one of the things. But last week we said change the goal and make it a decision. So changing the goal and turning it into a decision that's a powerful exercise, because what you're making is a commitment to a reality, and that's when you can assume the role. A goal is a wish that is expected but not yet attained. But when you assume the role, you're switching it from being a goal to an attainment. It's a decision. It's a point in time that you're marking for yourself. You're connecting to that moment in time, and you're making a committed decision to be that person. Okay? Not to attain the goal. Let me repeat. You're making a committed decision to be that person, not to attain the goal. The goal is a consequence of being that person. Being that person is the person who's achieved the goal. So that's the switch. You go from somebody who's aspiring to be something to the person who actually is that something. It's a condition that you set in motion in the present, and that's what draws everything to you. It's a small but massive change in the way you do this. Barbara.
Yeah, hey, a couple of things. I'll continue on this, and then I just wanted to add on to something that we did time before last, but that there is, I'm reading along. I have not been on Jeff's call, but I'm reading along or listening to the what you say to yourself. Messing up the name of the book, but that's it. And he's on like the 5th level, so there's like different levels of what you're committing to, and that's pretty powerful. But there was that one moment, I remember this just so, I had no qualms doing medical billing and talking to doctors, because I knew more about their billing than I did what they did. I knew more about billing than they did, right? So I had a confidence and a thing that I could definitely talk to doctors about that. Not a problem. There was no intimidation. I had worked myself through all the different nervousness and whatever that you go through. But when Nikan came into my life, I had this trepidation, like, who am I and what am I in wellness, and da, 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 da. And the whole line of fake it till you make it really was a big deal for me. And I had to like put that coat on. And I know you remember the gal, and I'm just not going to go back into names and stuff, but she was down in Orlando and she would get dressed up like she was going on a business meeting, even carried a little briefcase or her day planner. Remember, we used to have the little day planners with a handle, and she would go out and meet people either in the elevator going down or up or around or coffee shops or wherever she was. And she didn't really have an appointment, but she would dress as if she was the part. And I remember her sharing this, and I'm like, well, I don't know. I can do that. Like I can be that. I can, dress that I've got this big important appointment, and I'm just going to go and do that. And I remember going into doctor's offices and not pretending because I was a natural drug rep, right? So we had the little box of magnets, right? We had the little solitins, ding, 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 ding. I would turn that thing on, I'd get everybody's attention, and I'd go, want to see some amazing technologies? Now I was doing the demos and different things, but it was a way that I just shifted how I owned me and wellness, me and that. And I'm doing it right now and fessing up on how to share the business again. I kind of got weak on how I present the business. And I've been in Eric Worre's boot camp. And one of the things he shared today was every time you go to the next level, Maggie, you were sharing about this, we go to the next level where we got comfortable or that at diamond, or we got comfortable at platinum, or we got comfortable where we are. When we go to that next level, there's going to be the ooh and the ow. There's going to be some uncomfortableness that we're going to have to do to go from, 5,000, 10,000 or 10,000, 20,000 or whatever the big jump is going to be for you. And I was like, oh my God, that is so me, because you might find yourself frozen when it comes to, I don't think I'll call them yet. Remember your scared list, Mike, your
chicken list.
Chicken list, yeah. But and those people are the ones you really want to call, right? Or have your backup plan in place. Well, this has never been a better time to launch somebody because of all the work you and Ben have been doing. And I mean, everybody, but you guys really put the rubber to the road of having the things in place for us to now have that training backup to do this. And Nikan heard us and is giving more money in the beginning. So there's all these things that are coming into place that is perfect for us to launch people. Now, one more step. It's the homing in on the people. So Maggie, I'm kind of going off of your bootstraps, okay? You homed in on the 40-year-olds, maybe 30 to 40, and then the people our age, right? So I was talking to two people last week, my age-ish, like that. And I was saying, well, would you be willing to do this? Like, again, because they were in my business before, to have a travel fund or to take the grandkids with you traveling, to have that extra money, da, 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 da. So I was having that conversation, the whole one, all over again, the what if, and then the 30, 40-year-olds, it's the MSI, it's the, having that second job that they can put in their pocket and bring around with them, but also have the support of their family, having a wellness home and good water and not getting sick and all the things that we can kind of share about what young families have, which is my oldest son. So anyway, Mike, what I normally tell Linda is now go clean me up. Go clean up my share.
We were a little bit all over the place there. So
Yes.
just the thing that sticks is owning the identity that you're looking to manifest, is to own that identity. And the fake it till you make it is a good a way of saying that. We used to say that. I think make the assumption, or the book that I love is The Power of Awareness. I've often changed the title of my presentation, The Law of Attraction, to The Law of Assumption. So that's a better actual description, because the law of attraction is sort of the mechanism, whereas the assumption is the cause. First cause is I assume I am that which I say I am, and that will, by the law of attraction, then invoke the frequency, the vibration, the things that are in harmony with that, and so forth. So you invoke the law of attraction with what it is that you're in harmony with. In other words, what you are assuming you are. So become a conscious assumer. Assume consciously that which you wish to attract into your life. Assume the role and the identity. And that's another reason why calls like this are relevant. Because if you can't get into the headspace of people who've been there, you won't really know. You'll be guessing. And you want to take the guesswork out of what it feels like, looks like, is like to be that, so you can hone in on it quickly and start to wear it, rather than try to guess what it's like and then, be going here, there, and everywhere. So association to success is critical. Reading biographies, autobiographies, is critical. Well, that's why the only books I ever read are success books, self-help books. That's the only thing I ever read, because they're all self-discovery books. And you gain the insights from other people's experiences, rather than having to have your own, which is linear. So imagine your experience is linear, but I could be reading 5 books, having 5 life experiences simultaneously. So you accelerate your ability to attain or attenuate your consciousness when you open yourself up to more of that type of information, rather than being entertained, rather than stuff to entertain you. Find things to educate you, find things to help you hone in on your consciousness, your awareness, because that's going to determine the quality of your life, not how entertained you were. Mrs. Kramer.
Yes. All of these comments that you've been making, you and Barbara and whoever's been making comments, are related to what we believe about ourselves. And there is a verse in Psalms that says, I will believe. The people say the saying, and I think it's Michigan, I'll believe it when I see it. It's just the opposite. I'll see it when I speak it. Adaber, I will speak. So we have to, when we say out loud, not just thinking about it, but say it out loud, we're affirming who we want to believe, who we want to become, who we are becoming.
That's beautiful. I'll see it when I speak it. So when you start to speak in the first person,
I'll believe it. I'll believe it.
I'll believe it. Well, I'll see it when I speak it is even more righteous, because you'll manifest what it is you're in harmony with. So when you start speaking in first person as though you are that person, then you will begin to experience all considerations that are in harmony with that frequency, with that person. And that's how it works. It's how it's always worked. It's never not worked this way. We are all right now, the sum total of our life experience right now is based on how we identify with ourselves. And here's the thing I want to caution you, because a lot of people fall into this. We buy into other people's expectations. So we got this notion of retirement. Everybody has this idea, when's the age of retirement? If I said to everybody here, what's the age of retirement?
Never.
Okay, you guys are wise, but
65.
most people would say 65, right? They have a number associated with retirement, because That's what they've been conditioned to believe. Retiring is something you do. But who does that serve? It serves the slave masters, the corporate world and so forth. It doesn't serve your spirit. Your soul is meant for expansion. Your spirit is meant for expansion. Until you're dead, you should be expanding. So that's how you stay alive and present and excited about life. And so we should never stagnate. The trouble is we are on a trajectory and we tend to level off at a certain age, and then we think we're too old. It's too old to change. It's too old to this. It's, your levels of expectations fall with that, and then you're down the slope on the other side. So the thing you want to be doing is constantly going up, constantly expanding, which is this whole idea of setting, stretch, stretch, stretch the elastic band, stretch the elastic, move toward it, stretch, move. And you do that consciously. So great leaders are by definition a leader because they have followers. Well, that means they're never stagnant. They're always moving somewhere, and people follow where they're going. That makes them a leader by default. So we have to be in motion. We have to constantly be striving for more. And so, as I was just reading, the most productive years for a man is in his 70s, apparently. Second place is 60s. So I'm coming into my most productive years according to what's been experienced by the most successful people. So now, if you asked me, would I've ever thought that? I would have thought, no, my most productive years were when I had youth, but that's not the way it is. Wisdom accounts for a huge perspective in terms of success and how you actually accommodate success. Sherry.
So, and speaking of that, I have never forgotten this. Jim Starnes, bless his sweetheart, told a story about how his wife Betty started the business, and she eventually let him join her. He was a bank president his whole career, and he's joined the business at 70. And he said he had his most success, his biggest checks, his last 20 years of his life. So I'm 5 years away from that. So I've got 5 years to go. So I totally think that this is going to be my most prosperous season of my life. I totally don't think that I have anything to retire from. I think retirement is when you are forced to go to work and you're gritting your teeth, on Monday or on Sunday night, that kind of a thing. I heard your question that you posed very literally about this being such a big thing. So I want to speak to that as far as I'm now calling it PCC. I don't know if everybody's taken that acronym, but it's a mouthful to say pink collagen complex. I will admit that one of my less successful things in Nikken is I've done a really sucky job of having auto ship customers. And I know that that's a thing, that's a real foundational way to have stability from an income standpoint. I just missed the boat. It just never spoke to me. I love a lot of our nutritionals. I didn't love them at first. They weren't lovable in the very beginning of my years, but they have been for a long time. And I just haven't put my energy there. This feels very different. This feels like this is a trifecta of having something that is priced right, is I know I completely trust the integrity of the product. It's something that is going to show health benefits and also the physical benefits that people, are going to spend money for. I feel like it's going to hook people to stay loyal to our product. And so I feel like I've gone in a bold way. I have 4 packs, well, one delivered, but only I did one English and one Spanish because I wanted the Spanish literature. And so I only got one of the 4 that I've ordered. Anyhow, so it's going to be a little bit of delay, which is frustrating, but I have 10 people lined up that I have invited to be a beta tester. Because I feel like I want lots of people's experience, a variety of experiences. I feel like is going to be more than, I didn't want to play small. So 10 people felt like a big thing. And there's 4 different states, if you count Georgia. So 3 other states involved. And so I really see this as a huge thing. I'm claiming that I'm going to have a minimum of 100 new customers, me personally, this year. I've already done the math, and it's not a huge amount of money. It's a couple $1,000s. I think it'll add extra revenue every month, which is not small. I think though that it's the possibility of attracting people to the business to show them this. And I've already gotten some really good responses from people that are on my team that maybe haven't been super active to get them involved in it. So I feel like this is, it's, you get people on auto ship on one product, and then you've got places to grow. It's like anytime you have a happy customer, we've got lots of other things to show people, right? So,
And of course, they're going to need the water.
They're going to need the water, of course.
And
That's
that
going to
means
be right there.
cartridge replacements as well. Yeah.
All of that, right? So I feel like this is a great representation of where NECAN is going. And I really do. I'm very, very excited. I had a little pity party for a moment today about finding out that it wasn't shipping until the 14th, because I had to call them like, why did I only get this one order? I didn't understand. And I actually went to Jeff and said, do we need to move the launch date? Because we're, at least a week, if not 2 weeks, delayed from when we thought it was going to ship. And he said, we really can't. So we're not doing that. I had an attitude adjustment. It'll be,
So
it's not perfect.
What is not shipping until the 15th?
Nothing is shipping now. If you haven't gotten it, my understanding is there's no more shipments until the 14th.
Okay.
And what Emma said is hopefully the 14th. Like, it's not definitive. Jeff said
so not even the launch packs.
Right. None of
Okay.
that's coming. So
So they've already
14th of February, or are you talking
well,
about?
that's
this
exciting,
month.
guys. That
This
means
month.
NECAN has oversold its expectation for its initial launch order.
Well, he also said, though, he said we hoped for it to arrive more quickly, but shipping logistics are a nightmare right now globally with what is happening in the Red Sea and the Panama Canal. Everything is crawling, and the back UPS, I guess it's UPS, ups at the port of Los Angeles just complicates it. We're doing the best we can to get the product here and shipped. So, you can only do what you can do. So
Good thing we gave us 3 months of a runway, 2.5 months.
I know.
March 9th. That was.
I know. So, I mean, I've got all these people excited. I sent an email out and I said, it's going to be a little bit longer. I'll get it to you as soon as I can, because I'm getting products to people I've already sent them, the spec sheet, an article about collagen, and the Linda Morris did a great job with how to do the before and after. So, and I've told people they have to promise to do the before and after, stay on it, consistently, and report back. And so anyhow, I'm excited. I feel like this is a really great.
I'm really excited about this beta test as well. I had 4 go out today. I've got 6 deliveries tomorrow and 2 more to go to get these into my beta testers. Interesting. I also posted the photo of my packages have arrived, and I opened one up and set it on the table, and I already had 2 people right out of the blue text me or DM me, direct message me that they are interested and want to know more. So that's amazing, right?
Yeah.
I mean, that tells you the story. That was one post.
Yeah.
And the responses there. So
well,
yeah,
I was
That's
at
what the rest of us want to do, but it's going to be hard.
It's coming. It's a slight delay. Last week, I was at a networking event. There were probably 25 women, and this has never happened before. It was a time for making announcements, and I said, at that point, I had like 5 people that I was going to have beta testers. And I said, if anyone's interested, I'm looking for people that want to test this. They almost like flooded me. I mean, they came charging at me with their business card. Like me. So I'm like, well, that's never happened before. I think we're onto something.
Yeah, that's exactly right. That's exactly right. It's super, super important to share these stories, because that is the general experience that everybody's having. Barbara?
I just want to underline that never before has NECAN ever let the cat out of the bag early. So yes, we have some glitches. Yes, we have some things, but they're listening to us because we need to be ready and prepared. Like you said, you had the the spec sheet, and you've got the thing, and now we got better beta testers that are going to commit to being on it daily. I mean, that's phenomenal. So we've got this all coming into play, and they're getting the products ready and all that ready for us. So I just want to remind people to have a little empathy, when it comes to Nika and getting this stuff down, and stuff, because it's true. And
They can't ship it if they don't have it.
The same as I was talking to somebody about the filters, and finally, they're hearing us, or me, whatever. By the time we get a special, it's 2 weeks. We get it, we know about it, we start to implement it 2 weeks in, 3 weeks, we're announcing it to our people. Now it's over, right? We're making phone calls, and it's, oh my gosh, it's over. Well, we have this month. So we had a 2-month span, guys. And that's because the NFL were working for that, so that we are more prepared for our people. And Sherry, that's a great way to get them on auto ship as well. And multiple, just set up one for the filter and one for the collagen, and just let it be. None of this change. I don't change them anymore. I just let them be. So I just wanted to underline that. Thanks, Mike.
Speaking of multiple, I have a message here from one of our consultants in Manitoba. She says, I have 3 pink launches scheduled in Manitoba, one at home in Meadow Portage on Pink Day, March 9th, one in Winnipeg, Manitoba on the 13th, and one in Roblin, Manitoba on the 17th. So that's one person organizing 3. And I have recruited several women to women open to try the product for testimonials. So yeah, guys, that's what we're supposed to be doing. Now, it's not even what we're supposed to be doing. It's not like we're employees. It's what would you do if you're the owner of a business and you have this new product that nobody knows about, and you want to get this exposed in a big way so that your business can support this product and can be cash flow positive as a result of this effort, because it's a business. If you're not cash flow positive, you're not going to be in business. So as a business owner, you would do this. You would be setting this up. So think in terms of multiples. Go beyond just yourself. And if you haven't even yet booked yourself, if you're still not on the scorecard, shame on you. You've been given the best information, the best instruction, the best tools, and you're sitting on your ass? Come on. No. Paul.
I want to go back to intention plus mechanism equals results. And
do it.
Because we've been talking a lot about mechanisms in the last 5-10 minutes, and they're important, but their relative importance is 0 compared to intention. And this was really powerful for me because I have many executives, I have new people, and what I'm screening for now is intention. And when I discussed my plan with a new person yesterday in terms of, very quickly with the compensation plan, how it works, how the 6% works, I was able to get this person to actually tell me what kind of amount of money per year would really make a difference to her. And once we got that, it was the Royal Diamond amount. It changed everything. She was no longer concerned about how she was going to go to executive or silver, that'll gold, whatever. What Bob Proctor is saying is, if your attention is correct from the beginning and you start living that in your mind, all these mechanisms they'll be taken care of. Somehow they're going to happen. And because I had to do this, because frankly, working it out in my mind, I could not fathom how within the years of my life that I have left, I'm 71, I'm going to go from platinum to Royal Diamond when it took me like so many years to get to platinum. I need a different system to go much faster. And, I don't know this system. This is new for me, but I have to learn it and I have to duplicate it. And I'm so thankful for your discussion last week, because it prodded me that you've got to move into a whole different realm. And I'm teaching that now, and I know that everybody's going to move.
Awesome, Paul. You're hired. Maggie.
First of all, I want to congratulate our Leo LeMay for his fabulous accomplishments, that he got all these certificates and prizes for. Leo. Well done. That's just, it's so exciting to be part of the Canadian team and to have you just blazing the trails for us. So thank you. I've got a smaller vision that I'm going to expand after tonight's call about the launch. Currently, I got my launch package today, and I've enrolled my daughter-in-law, who's 40 something, who's very excited about the collagen, to be my test subject. I was going to say crash test dummy. That doesn't sound right. Yeah, my test person, and to put together a strategy, because I also see what you were talking about, Barb Bertucci, about the another source of income. She already has a couple, but I think she'd be quite happy to add Nikan in there, to be honest with you. So that's coming up. But I really wanted to emphasize the importance of the rhythm of the business. And Paul, you brought that up. And, you know, Michael, I've been an avid student of yours for many years. And you have helped me so much with that concept. And last week with my new consultant, and it was almost a textbook example. This gal, I met her through a leadership training program I'm on. And, you know, we talk about sort of what we do, but I never said the word Nikan. So she texted me one day and she said, "What is it that you do? What company are you with?" And I told her, and she said, "Oh my God, I've been looking for a Nikan consultant for 15 years. I said, "Okay, well, timing is everything, right?" And so she lives in Atlan, British Columbia. She's an Indigenous woman, and she just happened to be in Vancouver. So I said, "Well, you know, you're flying out tomorrow afternoon, come on for breakfast and, you know, experience the wellness home." So she did. And she already has some Nikan products from years ago that she bought. And she's got a Beamer, you know, the mat thing. And she's, you know, she's got this and that. And so I thought, well, maybe she'll get a few products. So anyway, I showed her the whole thing. And then that was Saturday. She signed up on Monday, and we ran into a snag because Nikan hasn't got the automated system for Indigenous people to have their tax exemptions. So she said, "Well, I'm not doing anything till I have that. And neither will any of my people." I said, "Okay, well, let's get on it." So I got on to it, and I talked to Luis, and I talked to Frank, and I talked to Michael. And by Thursday, we had a plan in place for her to be able to put her order in and get the taxes back. Anyway, the rhythm of the business. So I had conversation 1 and conversation 2 with her on the Saturday. Conversation 3, Michael, thank you, 2 hours special time, because she wasn't available on the Thursday evening time. 2 hours going through conversation 3, the how. And it really impressed her that this was so strategic, so well organized. So she came in on Friday. We had to do the order manually. She came in with all 3 packs, plus a few other things, and a plan. We didn't talk about levels or anything like that, but I can see silver this month and, you know, gold, you know, probably very shortly after that. And it's because that it's really important to have that daily contact, weekly meeting. So the weekly meeting was the Saturday morning lunch with her, breakfast with her, and then the business conversation. And she also came on the kickoff call. I didn't even mention the kickoff call, but she saw it. I got her on the WhatsApp. She saw it there. She said, "Should I be on that?" And I said, "Absolutely." So she had the advantage of that. And she went on 2 of Barb Satterwhite's calls as well. So this is a woman who is keen. And I am so grateful and excited to have somebody like that on my team, because I have a big, audacious goal for this year. And I have to remind myself, you're not done yet, girl. You are done because you see it. And don't drop the ball. Keep doing the rhythm of the business, the rhythm of the business, the rhythm of the business.
Beautiful. Thanks, Maggie. That's a perfect transition for what I want to get into. So I had set this screen up because I wanted to talk about that very, very thing in generality. So what we're trying to do is we're trying to help people. Let's get this PowerPoint going. We're trying to help people decondition or recondition themselves so that they can entertain a third option to how they understand generating income. As an employee, most people have gone through that. As someone who's self-employed, if they haven't hit the wall yet, they may still be eager beavers. But if they've been in the role of being self-employed for some time and they've hit that stagnation point, then they're probably not in growth mode and could be interested in evolving somewhere else. But regardless, these two conditions are trading time for money. And what we're offering is an out, a third way, or a quantum leap way in generating revenue by creating multiple sources of income in a non-traditional sense. Because in the traditional sense, multiple sources means several self-employed businesses, and most people can barely manage one self-employed business, let alone 2, 3, 5, 10. So there has to be some form of scalability that makes it possible for a person to grow an enterprise without it being too taxing on their personal time and their resources. That means they must find and leverage some form of a system. Now, in Nikken, when you join Nikken, you join a business that offers multiple sources of income within the business itself. So one form of income is sharing the products. That terminology will become, hopefully sooner than later, what we refer to as the affiliate model. People can join Nikken as an affiliate. That is a very, very popular way for people now to move products who don't necessarily identify with a network marketing model or an independent business owner. They just simply are promoters. They love to promote things that they love. And if they love Nikken, they'll love to promote it. And so that creates an income opportunity that requires very little of them in terms of a personal commitment. It's just something to do out of passion. So our affiliate model really is our retail model and appeals to enthusiasts, wellness enthusiasts and Nikken product enthusiasts who attract customers by occasionally sharing their product experiences with friends, acquaintances, their social media influences, etc. So that is one way of doing Nikken. That happens to be the largest way of doing Nikken right now. For the most part, that's where most people are. So they're treating Nikken as an affiliate model, which, if we go back to the overlay, it's the employee model, because when you stop sharing, you stop earning income. In other words, when you stop working, you stop earning income. So you're just simply adding what you know with a new technology and product, and that's that. That's not a quantum leap. The business model, that's very similar to the self-employment model, because the business model is really about promoting the products and the opportunity for other people to become self-employed. And basically all you need to do that is share your findings about the products and the business, which allows people to join and then either become an affiliate or start approaching it from the business model. And you would think that if I was approaching this from a business model, doing it that way, that I was really doing the business, the network marketing business, and it's not. The network marketing business, like the big business owner, requires you to leverage something. What are you leveraging is a system. And you guys have been talking about it. Nikken is a platform that's available to the affiliate, to the business model as well. But how are you ever going to see 6 generations of 6%? The affiliate model is just frontline customers. The business model is just frontline distributors. Not very different than the affiliate model, really. But thanks to Niken's accelerator bonus, it's extremely lucrative. So they have made sponsoring as lucrative as selling the products, so that we become a little bit more entertained and attracted to the sponsoring. But sponsoring adds one more element to it. If a person has an interest in Niken because they're now a little bit more vested than just being a consumer or retailer, then they're going to stay connected. They're going to jump in on calls. They're going to learn every now and then. And so they're going to be a customer much more regularly, and maybe even greater than just simply the one-time consumer who likes the one thing that they saw by an influencer one day. But the network model, this is where you need to learn how to utilize a system. And when I'm talking about a system, I'm not talking about the Niken system, because that's part of it, but not all of it. It's what Maggie was just talking about. It's about a process of enrolling people through an information flow that leads to an understanding that results in a commitment to executing a business plan. So our 3 commitments are time, money, contacts. And it requires your understanding of the system, and then overlay a strategy to that if you have some expectations, such as goals that you want to achieve this month or this quarter, or any of the incentives. So we're talking about a system that incorporates a process and a strategy, the rhythm of the business, essentially what I'm talking about. And if you look at it, it says down below here, plugs in and promotes the Niken rhythm of events. So that's what we're talking about when we're talking about leveraging a system. You become a promoter of a system. Incorporated into the system is all the bells and whistles. It's all the things that we have. We have products, we have compensation plan, we have tools, we have online events, we have in-person events, we have product launches, those are all the things that the system incorporates. But your job is to promote. Your job is to promote the system. And Maggie, to answer your question, if you want to get somebody on the 18K club, first of all, you need to register, because then you would be registering as the sponsor, because you're either a sponsor launching somebody, or you're the person being sponsored who's committing to a launch.
Okay, so my previous application needs to be redone?
Yeah, every 3 months.
Okay.
That's what we want to do. I should have made that announcement, because it was the 1st of February that it rolls over. So I'll send that out through the group chat.
Thank you.
So if you have somebody that you want to get into this rhythm, and in this particular case, what Maggie's talking about, the 18K club, it is a very specific rhythm. It's a commitment where silver is an expectation in their first, maybe second month, gold by third month, as a consequence of executing this plan. And all this plan really involves is a certain number of people through the process. That's the strategy, is a certain number of people through the process. The process is the process. Cooking a noodle is cooking a noodle, but making a plate of spaghetti for 5 people, that's a strategy. You need both. And so that's what we're talking about. We're talking about a system. And the kind of people who are going to get excited about significant incomes are the ones who will get excited about the fact that you have a system.
Mm-hmm.
And if you don't show them that, because you don't even know what it is, or you're not plugged in yourself, then you're never going to have that conversation. They're not going to see the benefit of what's here, and they're not going to see the big picture or get excited about the big potential, because it will not have been exposed to them with any degree of confidence. So I think, Maggie, to your point, one of the things that mattered was for this individual to be able to see organized thoughts that were strategic, and they could clearly see how one thing leads to the other, which allowed them to make the choice, which was obvious. If I'm going to do this, then I need to do this the best way I can. You see, that's a self-awareness. That's a conclusion they come to by virtue of having completed the information process. So I just wanted to make that point, because right now, the Thursday night presentation for the Zoom that I do for that business is really, it's just reserved time. I set that time aside to make that presentation available, but I need to have a heads up from anybody who's going to use it, because otherwise I'm going to use that time for myself. And I'd like to have that information by midday, the day of Thursday. But who we're reserving that for is not just anybody who wants to every now and then pop in on a Thursday night and get entertained. It's for people who have people. Otherwise, it makes no sense. And we're all sitting there twiddling our thumbs, talking to one another. So the most effective use of the system is when you put people in it. But just to know that you have it, and you've all been exposed to it, so it's not like you don't know. Just keep that in mind, that the fast movers or the people that you want to attract for the big payoff are people who are going to need to know and want to know that there is a system. And even if you can't articulate it well, or you don't feel confident enough to, you know who can. So make sure you make that ABC happen. Any questions? Barbara? You're muted.
Sorry about that. I don't have a question. I have a challenge. I have 9 committed beta testers. But I don't have a venue. So I haven't registered for the Zoom on March 9th because I don't have a location pinned down yet.
Ask
I'm
your beta
hoping
testers.
that one of my beta testers will open up their home and let
Ask.
us do it there.
Barb,
You
it
got
doesn't
9
ask
phone
you-
calls to make. But go
It
ahead,
doesn't
Barbara.
ask you for an address when you register. Just say your city area and
Okay.
register.
Yeah,
And then
that's
later
true.
get the information out.
That's
I
true.
just
need
hope to
everybody
have
to
product
register
to get out to them before then, so they have a chance to.
No, you
try
don't.
it
You can
and
just
give
make a
some
decision you're going to
testimonials.
have an event, even if you have nothing. You just make a decision you're going to have an event. But things start to fall into place when you make that decision.
We
Well, I
need
made the
everybody to
decision at
register,
the
guys.
beginning and started working on it, but you've been here, Mike. We're not a very big community. We don't have a lot of halls to hold it in.
That's okay.
because there's so few-
You'll figure it out.
Yeah,
Put your name in the hat.
I'm working on it.
Paul
Believe me.
Gabias.
Yeah, the system is very important. I hope the law is part of the system, because if people aren't familiar with the law, they're not going to believe that they can do the system, or they're going to get caught up in the system, and they won't dream. And there's something more that happens that has to be. How do we have to sort of be able to teach, hey, that's part of this that you
I
won't
agree.
find other
I agree.
places.
As a matter of fact, I'm not able to draw this in 2 dimensions because it's 3 axes. So the 2 dimensions you normally see when I draw the rhythm of the business is the vertical axis is the ranks, or the attainment of a rank, and that associates with the competencies necessary. The horizontal relates to the timing, which is the frequency or the rhythm, and that is the roles and responsibilities. But there's a third axis that you can't see because I can't draw it in the picture. The third axis is the personal development component, which is the humans being more training, which was we subsidized with other types of learning, such as the Think and Grow Rich, or the books, whatever is being supplemented. Right now, that program is in effect with Jeff. Jeff has got a Humans Being More program in effect, and that's a personal development curriculum. So we have the trifecta. We have the 3 prongs necessary So if you find that there's an individual who has high aspirations, but they don't have the emotional intelligence yet, they haven't gone through the school of hard knocks, they haven't overcome, they haven't learned about the secret or the law of attraction, so forth, then you need to get them into that program right away. Get them started with Humans Being More. At least that sets the tone for that type of work and self-reflection. And then you can maybe make some recommendations as far as books. One of the books that I absolutely love, it's on my desk, is Mach 2 with Your Hair on Fire. This is by Richard Bliss Brooke, because it incorporates the law of attraction into a network marketing conversation. It's a really, really good book for that. So
Love it.
yeah, great tool. So it's things like that, Paul. And it's, I guess we got to sort of brush off, dust off some of our library, but I'll bet you your library's pretty good. Mine's pretty good. We can make a few recommendations for people.
Oh,
to get
yes, it
started.
is.
And not
Absolutely.
also, when you get somebody on the We Start and they start working on the curriculum in the back office, that's also personal development. It's both business development and personal development. And there's recommendations as well in terms of the reading material.
Yeah, well,
So-
most people think that mechanisms and systems will get them there, but no, if they don't feel or understand, or if they're not open to this other dimension, they'll get stuck in mechanisms.
Yes. Yeah, or they won't overcome what's necessary in order to become proficient at the competencies.
Yeah.
So there's no question about it. The best expression of the business that we're in is we're in the personal development business with a compensation plan. That's the truth. That's how I've always seen Humans Being More, which is why on my vertical axis, horizontal axis, the end goal, the diagonal line leads to the fulfillment of the 5 pillars, because it's ultimately about the fulfillment of those 5 pillars. We're building a business because we have a life we want to live, and it's the fulfillment of those 5 pillars why we're doing it. So every day we're doing it, we're on the right journey. Well, my friends, we have a great month ahead of us and lots of planning, obviously, for March 9th. But the best plan is action, 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 because then you will refine your plan as you make mistakes. So don't be shy about doing that. And don't be shy about not having everything you need. I think one of the things that Bob first talks about in that video, Paul, you'll agree, is most people think they can't do something because they don't think they have what it takes or know what it takes. And that's the thing that follows once you make a decision to do it, the know-how and the resources. So the decision precedes everything, and nothing changes unless a decision is made. So there you go. Make it, do it. Let's go. Right, Mrs.
Mike.
Kramer, last comment.
Yes, there's a story about, I think it was 10 birds on a branch, or 10 frogs on a whatever, and they all decided to fly away. Let's say it was the birds. They decided to fly away. How many were left on the branch?
Well, if they all decided to fly away, they're all there until they actually fly.
Right, only there are 9 still left, because only one actually he actually did something. There was the action. The decision doesn't help if you don't take action.
Right on. Thanks for the reminder, Barbara.
Yeah, I just wanted to underline that we, or I'll just say it have dropped out urgency. And in the past, if they couldn't make it Tuesday or Thursday, whatever, I would, okay, I'll get it to you next week, da 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 da. So I am now using your recording, Mike, of Tuesday night. If someone can't get on, I send them the recording by when can you watch it, or do you want to watch it with me? and create urgency. And Maggie, that's what I commend you for underlining and having 2 conversations on the same day. No one said you can't have that. You know, you did that and you accelerated it and created that excitement. Those decisions are made within 3 days, most of the time. And I've been lagging it and dragging it out and then wondering why, well, they're not really deciding, they're not playing. So somehow play a game with yourself to have that urgency, to get them through the process as quickly as you can, and get them with an ABC and get them on a Zoom or get them with the video, whichever way you can, as quick as you can. That's all. I was just underlining that other component.
All righty then. Good for us. Have a
Thank
great
you.
night, everybody. See you next week.
Thank you.
Thank you.